So here we go. Yeah, sure.
So here we are on the boat. New boat for our dive shop. It's called the Narcosis.
Yeah, good boat.
Getting ready for an exciting dive. A lot of current on this day, so as you can see, it's kind of got me horizontal there as I'm trying to go down.
They made a lot of effort to make sure we stayed on that line.
Yes,
they were
yes,
like,
yeah. A very
do not
good,
leave the line.
right. Very good system of grabbing on the line as soon as we hit the water. Having the line along the boat pull us along, and that connects to the mooring line, which is attached to the wreck.
Yeah, you can see that here. That's a good thing we should explain. So there's an anchor line that goes from the bow of the boat down to the wreck, and then there's a line that goes from the stern of the boat where we enter the water, and that connects horizontally, sort of, along the beam of the boat down to the anchor line.
Right.
And so you just follow that along, and you can see right there.
Yeah.
I hit the anchor line. Now I'm going down the anchor line. Rick is now getting the anchor line.
Right.
And
it just, that anchor line goes down to a big adventure.
Yeah. And I have to give a shout out to the photographer who had to hold on to the anchor line with one hand and shoot Rick coming down while descending.
I would give that photographer
backwards.
full marks.
Full marks. I don't know if they would recommend going down to the wreck backwards like that. But
I don't know. I think they just want us to hold on to the wreck no matter how we get there. I mean, hold on to the rope no matter how we get down to the wreck. But
anything to give you the footage you deserve out there, YouTube land. So here we are. You see the bow of the ship there. We're just down the bottom. There goes
comb jelly.
Comb jelly. And that's the bow of the ship. And the picture that we'll show, you can see that where that chain is tied to. You can see that on the pictures of the ship before they sank it.
Right. And you can see some other divers there in the background. Their bubbles coming up. This would be the white condominium tuna kit.
Yeah, that's what is that? A sponge?
It's a tunicate.
Is it? What is that?
It's just a type of creature. There's a whole family of a whole group of tunicates out there.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's not a coral. It's not a sponge. It's
a tunicate. It might be related to one of those other things, but I think it's its own group.
Cool. So here we're looking at, I think, is just inside just after the wheelhouse, maybe. The bridge is, the front part of the bridge and the windows is now gone. The storms have ripped it off. So that's the room right behind the bridge. There's the J davit that you can see on the pictures of the ship.
Right.
That they use to hoist things.
You always want to dive on a wreck that has a J davit.
A J davit.
Because it's cool to talk about.
Sure. The Navy uses those to winch up rescue swimmers.
Oh,
yeah.
Great. Here we are inside. I believe this is the wheelhouse. Or a cabin off of it.
Yeah, maybe just behind it. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I mean, there's no wheel in there anymore.
There's a triggerfish.
Triggerfish, yeah, great trigger.
Great trigger.
I saw more triggerfish on this dive than I usually see when we're out here. Good day for triggerfish.
What's that? A buttery?
Is that a butterfly?
Spot fin butterfly.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
Kind of working our way back
along the wreck. The visibility was not bad at all on this day. The sun was not out directly. There were a lot of clouds, and so I think we're maybe seeing some of that underwater. It's a little bit darker than that.
Oh yeah, that's right. A little fish there around.
After our dives were over, the sun came out on the way back in.
I think this back here are like the weather decks of the ship where a lot of the action would go on.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that's just the edge that goes down. This is probably... Oh, now we're down in the stern.
You can see the rudder.
It was probably 50 feet maybe, and now Rick's down there around 70 feet. I think the deepest part of this sits at 74 feet.
Yes, yes.
And that's the rudder and the stern of the boat.
And that boat has a real firm hold on the bottom there. It doesn't look like it would be easy to roll over too much in a storm, unless it was really kind of embedded somewhat.
You know, it always amazes me how embedded these things are to the seafloor. They really are.
That would be your conical spine sea star that we just passed over. We'll see more of those on the sky. Type of sea whip, I believe.
Sea whip.
Sea whip.
Yeah, we had looked that up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't talk about it, but I'll mention it real quick. You notice this: the dive boat chained itself off to the wreck. Nobody throws anchors overboard anymore on these kind of things because they just tear up wrecks and stuff. They find a way to tie off on.
And dive operations are very conscious of preserving what's here.
Oh, that's a good shot of the spade. Atlantic spadefish?
The Atlantic spadefish,
Yeah.
yes. And it's always great seeing those. Sometimes they come real close to the divers. I think they like it. If you're ever down by the sand, you might dig something up for them to eat.
Oh, yeah.
Taste a little morsel. It's the fish you discovered what it was called. Fluid. Well, it's gone right now.
Yeah. What was that?
That was the
Damsel?
Coco damsel.
Coco damsel?
Yeah, a juvenile, I believe.
There you can see Rick is looking in every hole and every crack and crevice of this ship, and
these holes are amazing. And last fall, I did a night dive on this wreck, and there was an octopus in one of the holes. I was hoping to see it again to show Thomas, but it had either made itself more hidden or just wasn't there this time. But the divers last year named that octopus Danny, and it was always on this wreck for at least the last season.
probably this is a good time to talk about this wreck's an artificial reef, part of a whole system of wrecks and reefs that they put down along Florida. And they do it all over the world. It's a fish haven, and it brings divers, fishermen, and it brings fish and all sorts of different species to an area where there was otherwise nothing but sand. What you see right there, that's what it would be nothing, really. I mean, there's living things there, but not all this oasis of life. So that's why you do
we ever spade fishing, and that's a very nice shot. Looking up toward them.
Every now and then, I'll get a good shot if it presents itself. Very rarely do I position myself to get a good shot.
All the shots you do are well. The other fascinating thing is that the sides of this wreck might just look like, oh, what's all that stuff there? But this is living. These are living organisms all over that wreck.
It's not moss, is it?
No, it's all kinds of stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's some plants mixed in there, but you got a lot of invertebrates. Got some rust, but it's an amazing structure.
Oh, look at that. Oh, is that the soapfish?
This is a white-spotted soapfish. They're rather secretive. They tend to just really kind of hunker down on reefs or wrecks. They're shy. Their eyes are higher up on the head because they're down at the bottom. And they can. We'll see, I think, that view in one of your later shots, Thomas, where the eyes are structured on the head.
Oh, because they like to hide underneath something.
Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. I saw something in edit that I didn't see during the dive, and I don't think you saw it during the dive. Okay, and it's coming up right here. So we're going to see the soapfish again, which is right there, and then we have Rick's mystery guest coming up. So here's a surprise for you. There's a pretty little soapfish. Watch to your right, Rick. Oh, you can't really see it on the computer very well.
What's that?
It was a shark.
Oh,
It swam right up next to your
really?
right side. Yeah,
I missed that.
you can see it on the. You can't see it on the computer where we're watching.
Was that a different shark than we'll see later?
I think it was the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, he checked me out and apparently wasn't interested.
Yeah. When I was watching this, I went, "Whoa, wait a minute! That shark swam right by Rick. You didn't see it."
Oh,
I didn't see it at the time either.
just caught it on the
I
video.
saw it on the edit. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Some people consider a dive good only if they see a lot of large things, but on a wreck like this, you want to look at all the invertebrates and in all the cracks and crevices. You'll never know what you're going to find. It's just always fascinating. We are looking under the bow.
Sometimes when you're diving in conditions that are less than optimal, mainly visibility, it forces you to get small sometimes.
Yes.
And it's refreshing to not look at the big thing, but then just kind of focus on the small stuff.
Right.
And it's always sometimes amazed at what you see.
Exactly.
Oh, here we are going inside.
You can see a lot of particulates. Some of those particulates are probably plankton or whatever else is kind of, they're suspended in the water.
Yeah. There's looks like a desk, like a pull-out drawer there.
Some kid had to take school lessons on board there, probably when his father was taking care of the tongue.
It might have been a little anemone on that. Of course, I don't hold the camera on it. So we just punched through. That was some sort of grouper, I think.
I think it might be a black grouper,
yeah.
I believe. But
So we just kind of punched through the superstructure of the ship, and I think we started from the starboard side, went through to the port side, and now we're again on the port side of the ship, going aft, and then we'll go aft a little bit, and then we'll go back through the machine room.
Yes. Yes. And last fall on the night dive, there were actually some sea turtles resting up on that deck. At first, they would move a little bit when a diver went over. Then later, they didn't even move anymore. They were very chill with the divers around them.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at the spear fishermen. They're just sitting up there waiting.
Yeah.
Those guys got some good fish.
They did.
One guy got a couple flounder, and the other guy got a big grouper in.
Oh, I missed the grouper, but I saw the 2 flounder that one of the spear fishermen got.
There's Mr. Rick going in.
You go in, you go out, but there's a lot to explore inside this wreck. Part of the engine is still there, and I don't know if it is very visible on our camera here, but there was a large engine on the bottom underneath the deck. Another thing about these wrecks that are prepared to be put down as an artificial reef is that they are made somewhat safe for divers.
Yeah.
There's large areas that you can get in and out of, and it would be more difficult to get lost in something like this than on a natural wreck that the sea simply takes.
Yeah, they don't just take the ship out and just sink it, right? They have to take a lot of stuff off, anything that's hazardous material, and then if they're smart about it, which they usually are, they'll remove panels and so forth, like Rick was saying, so it's not so apt to get people lost in there. Have big, openings and so forth. There is isn't there a certification for wreck entry?
Yes, there is, and for that, the diver would have a reel as one of the pieces of equipment.
Yeah,
to tie off and lead the other divers through. There we go. There's a nice jack. Yeah. It's a really good dive site for the Red Sea.
Yeah,
It's really a fun one.
it's amazing, and it's only like 5 miles off the coast.
Right.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
far.
It's what the dive shops in Panama City would call an inshore dive, meaning it's between about 55 and 75 feet. And we kind of captured those depths, I think, with the top of the wreck.
Yeah,
At about 50 something, and then the bottom around 70 something.
yeah. Interesting that all the growth. So this wreck was sunk in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 13 years of growth or so.
Yeah.
14 years, something like that.
And that little fish back there that just went into the hole was another one of the soapfish. Oh,
There's Sharky. That's Rick's buddy. He's
yeah.
got a taste for Rick, and he wants to come back and see what's
Yeah, he wants me to come out and play with him.
going. So we improperly thought that was a bull shark.
We did, but the other folks told us, including the dive master on the boat, that was actually a sandbar shark. Right?
Sandbar, yeah. We looked them up in the book, and the sandbar is a very close cousin to the bull shark. They look
Very similar. Little difference in the placement of the first dorsal fin.
Oh, that's the mermaid's purse, they call them. I think that's a ray egg.
Egg sac, yeah.
And I assume that it's still in there swimming around.
And you don't want those to hatch while you're holding it, because those little baby rays will get onto you, and you'll have to take care of them for the rest of their life.
Nobody wants that kind of responsibility.
Too much responsibility.
Oh, that's funny. And here we have Rick doing what he does best, horsing around.
Bike tire.
Imagine diving there. There's no boat to see. It would just be sand.
Yes.
Sand and a bike tire.
Right. As fascinating as this part of the Gulf of Mexico is, when you're away from any kind of artificial reef or wreck, the bottom is like an open, sandy desert. It's a desert full of life, but easy to get lost. Oh, yes.
Big guy, Goliath grouper, yeah. Yeah, he came in for the action. I tried to chase him down.
And you did a good job there.
He wouldn't mess. He likes hanging around the bow of the boat. So he would just kind of go back and forth.
It seems like the Goliath grouper I've seen have kind of their special little places that they kind of claim as their spot.
Hunker down.
Yeah, exactly.
Real pretty fish. Obviously, the spear fishermen are not going to spear the Goliath grouper. I think you have to have special permit.
It is, yes, special.
Very.
I think only so many people can get them. I'm not sure if there's like a lottery for them, but and there is still debate as to whether they should be hunted at all.
Yeah. They are quite common on the wreck zone.
Yes, yes. And here we are again checking in those holes. If you're going to be diving around something like this, always check inside the holes for your light alarm. Here we have something. See, leopard, did we say leopard toadfish?
Leopard toad. He likes my light.
Yes.
Lunged at me when I turned it on. Just won the prettiest fish contest. Maybe not.
They're fascinating.
Yeah, they are. Aren't they in like the scorpion fish family?
They could, I'm not sure, but they certainly look like they could be. Yes.
I wouldn't want to step on one.
No, I think they do have some kind of barbs in their dorsal fin. They have those little barbels around their chin. I think they help them feel around the bottom of the sense movement.
Oh yeah. Banded starfish.
Banded starfish.
Yeah.
Yes.
And his friend, the hermit crab, sitting next to him.
Yeah. Having a moment together.
I see a lot of those here.
Yes, I do too.
Even in the shallow water.
Right. Oh, there's our buddy again.
Yeah, that's right.
He was just, he didn't want to get too close, but he stayed at kind of a distance where we could see him clearly, and he just kept circling the wreck.
Kept surfing the wreck, yeah.
And I think we're not sure if he just happened to be doing that, or if the spear fishermen maybe attracted him when they caught something.
I just made a point to stay behind Rick when the shark was.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same adage with the bear. You don't have to outrun the bear; you just have to outrun your buddy.
Exactly.
Just stay behind the bear.
But you can see here the side again of the wreck, how much life there is and how much place there is just for habitat.
Yeah.
On just even on a steel side of a sunken ship.
Yeah, it grows, doesn't it?
Yeah. Ah, there we go again.
He is in no way in a hurry to get anywhere. He just kind of does laps, I think.
Mm-hmm. And his coloring really blends in nicely with the side of the wreck.
Yeah. You know, I think in a second, when he goes around, in a few seconds, you'll see the spear fisherman come back out that same area of the bow, and that'll give the viewers a good chance to see the size comparison of just how big that fish really was. When you see the two spear fishermen, you'll see that there's the tip of their spear. You'll see him come out, and that'll give you an idea just how big that fish was.
There they are.
Yeah, these guys laying in wait.
Looking at shells while they wait.
Yeah.
More condominium tunicates.
Really pretty, isn't it?
They are. They're really cool.
It would have been a lot prettier if I'd actually had my light on.
It's our depth on Thomas's computer.
62 feet. We had 11 minutes left for no deco limits. So that means we can stay down at that depth for 11 more minutes and then not have to worry about decompressing. Although you will see a stop to off gas, which is what everybody does, even in recreational diving, at the end of a dive, just for safety reasons. So if you don't know, as we're diving around this wreck, our body is building up nitrogen from the compressed air that we're breathing. We're carrying around on our backs, and that builds up in your blood, and you have to get that, you have to off vent it before you come all the way to the surface, or you can get trouble.
In which case, on the surface, it would come out too fast, and that could be a problem. You'll notice my gloves, which are red, appear more gray at this depth of the water filter. The deeper as you go, the various colors are filtered out, red being one of the first to go.
Yeah. Blue triumphs, doesn't it?
Yes.
Red loses.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're coming up the anchor line, the same line we went down on. Coming up slowly, and you'll see the congregation of divers waiting, right around the 15-foot mark. And we'll all stop there for about 3 minutes. And again, we're just, for safety purposes, making sure that all that nitrogen gets out of the blood appropriately.
This is always a relaxing time. When you're on the anchor line, you can look up at the surface, you've had a good dive, it's going to be hanging there at your 15-foot depth for 3 minutes or so to off gas. And see another diver spear gun there in the background.
That's it.
That's it.
The end of the dive. That's the end of the video.
You
Thanks.
might want to wrap. Oh,
Well, yeah, we're still recording.
oh, hey, you might want to wrap it up a little bit. You know, that saying that this is the end of our guide. I guess people can figure that out when the video's not there anymore.
Probably.
But the dive boats have good protocols for people that are fishing to make it safe for the other divers and for the boat crew and for the spear fishermen or spear fisherwomen themselves.
I just froze it on the spear so he could.
Yes,
keep
there it is. Yes,
talking about.
yes.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoy it. We took you along with us. Probably one of my longer videos, but due to some subscribers' requests, we decided to add narration to it.
Fantastic.
What better way to do it than with my buddy Rick
and my buddy Thomas?
See you later.